Hello guys, and welcome to the second review in this series, Random Stuff from China. Today, I bought an Elephone A5. I say today, 3 weeks ago I bought it. It took 2 weeks to arrive, and I've had it for a week just to test it out, use it, all that jazz. The first bit of this video is me unboxing it, and then the second bit is after I've had it for a week, and what it's like. It arrived on 8th of January when it was priced £161 or $205 on gearbest.com. Not sponsored. Not a massive fan of this site either. Definitely prefer Banggood. I bought it for £161.59 on a different kind of sale, but it seems to retain this general price of around £161. Links in the description to buy the phone. If you can get it for around this price, good for you. It's actually a really good price for the phone. The specifications of the phone is a 6.1 inch 1080p display boasting an octa-core 2.0Hz processor running Android 8.1, but some reviews have said that they've received it with Android 9.0. We'll see about that later in the video. It comes with 4GB of RAM with 64GB of internal memory, 3 rear cameras, the best of which is a 12 megapixel, and 2 front cameras, the best of which is a 20 megapixel. They both take 1080p resolution videos and photos. I don't know the frame rates, can't work that one out. I think it's 60 FPS, but nowhere that I could find would say the frame rate of the videos. But I'm not particularly using this for photos and videos, so that's all you're going to hear from the camera. I am not doing a review of the camera. If you're here and the camera is a pretty important part of a phone to you, probably find a different review, because I don't care about the camera of a phone. The most I'm going to use a phone is maybe recording these reviews, and even then I am eventually going to invest in a better camera anyway. So it's not much of an important part to me, and quite frankly I don't care about a camera on a phone. It comes with a side fingerprint scanner. More on that later, but when I was buying it I was like, nah, side fingerprint, nah, I'm not a massive fan of that. But honestly, it really shocked me. It comes with dual SIM, one of which is nano SIM, the other one is like a... I don't know the size of the other one actually, but it's a bit bigger, which is pretty standard among phones in this day and age, especially China phones. I'm not sure about phones that you can buy in the UK/America, but I'm pretty sure it's an industry standard at this point. The phone can go up to 4G networking, and my version of the phone is the EU version. I don't know what difference this might make to the rest of the world version, but I doubt it makes much of a difference. I think it's just for networking and rates and all that jazz. Other than that, the last thing to mention is the phone does have a notch. Personally, I'm not too bothered about it, and it doesn't get in the way of videos. It's like every other notch, it just shrinks the video. Pretty much the only notch I hate is the little teardrop one, the one that looks like a fucking pimple. I absolutely hate that one. That is my least favourite notch. I'd rather it be a notch or a bezel or nothing. I don't want a tiny little camera cutout. It's ugly as all hell. And the back of the phone has a really cool design on it, which you don't see much in phones. So to the actual unboxing, the package was wrapped in 2 layers of this cellophane parcel packaging. In between those it was bubble wrapped, so I doubt it'll ever get damaged in shipping. It also shipped with this connection converter. I think they look at the shipping address and give you a converter for your region, or they just saw that I was in the EU and went, oh yeah, you can have that British one. I was trying to find a good place to record this, but there was nowhere really good with the lighting, so I did have to pick my living room floor. So there's a bit of carpet in this video, but whatever, maybe I'll just have to buy some lights from China and review those, you know. The phone comes with a few accessories, with what, in my opinion, is pretty jank solution for the connector. I'm never going to use it because I don't trust the connector at all. The box does come open easily, it's just I was struggling to hold my camera and open it at the same time. It's like every other bloody phone box these days, they all have copied Apple and just slide open, because apparently having a lid on your box is way in the past these days. It has some thick protection thing inside the box to stop it from damaging, and it comes in this nice sleeve. Under the phone we can find the user's manual, which just tells us the basics of any phone ever created, and I've said previously the connector for the charger is pretty jank and I won't be using it, and the USB Type-C cable is everything you would expect. It's USB and Type-C, so it can connect to any charger you want, because they all are USB compatible these days. As with most Chinese phones, it comes with a lovely plastic case made for the phone, but I don't think I will be using it for this phone, mainly because if you put it on the back of the phone, it covers the design, which is a bit of a weird one, really. Looking more at the phone, it has a warranty sticker thing, which says to only remove the front protective sticker if you have loaded the application correctly. So it's just like, if you've loaded it up, everything works, and then you take that off once you're happy with the product. If you're not happy, you can send it back. Honestly, you just get everything you'd expect with a phone, but something that I thought was absolutely amazing and just a brilliant touch is this sticker on the back of the phone. It tells you where all of the things are and what they do, which is pretty bloody cool. I was tempted to leave that sticker on just because I thought it was actually really cool, but I took it off in the end. Turning the phone on reveals this lovely splash screen. It was pretty quick to boot into the setup. At the moment it is on Android 8.1, and I never found a way to upgrade it to Android 9, so I don't know how some reviews have got Android 9. But yeah, the phone feels responsive and everything feels snappy. I will get back to you on that one, as I plan on using this for all of my tasks for a week, which I have done now, and I've got a good list of good and bad points about the phone, so we'll just get right into that one. So the good points about this phone is the great resolution for the screen quality, pretty much as you would expect about a phone worth 160 quid. Watching videos, the colours seem to be vibrant enough in comparison to watching them on a computer monitor, so if you're going for that movie experience, you're sorted, really. Given that the only speakers are on the bottom, which does leave some viewing pleasures to be desired. Obviously you would like a more surround feel, especially since the phone has speakers at the top for when you're making a call, which is just dumb. The overall quality of music and video rival that of the latest Samsung phones and iPhones. I didn't record testing these, which I really wish I had done, but I tested it with my cousin's iPhone X and my sister's Samsung 8. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's got Samsung 7 or 8, one or the other. So they're not that latest, are they, Samsung 7 or 8s? Never mind that one. If you open lots of apps at once, somehow it manages to keep loading more apps just as quick. Everything in the background, switching to them, everything like that. Everything is lovely, smooth, fast. The touchscreen remains nice and responsive as long as you remove the protective film, because they poorly put that on the phone, I'm not going to lie. But fuck it, you just take it off. It doesn't really protect anything. It makes it really good for playing games like PUBG Mobile, which I did only have one game on. So I uninstalled, mainly because I want to keep that 100% win rate, I'm officially... My win rate is better than Shroud's at this point. I did this also to test the device's capabilities. It did somewhat surprise me that it could run PUBG, really well. And if you're looking for a mobile gaming experience, this could be the phone for you, especially on a budget. The battery did get a little bit hot, and I don't know if that limited the phone's capabilities in any way. But yeah, it did what it did. It did what I wanted it to do, and it did what any mobile gamer would want it to do. The fingerprint on the device can seem more eager than you are to unlock the phone. The first few unlocks really, really did shock me at how fast it was able to unlock the device. It felt like I wasn't even touching the sensor when it unlocked the device. It was really quite a surreal experience, but this does mean whenever I put it in my pocket, I am worried that I've accidentally turned it on and it's just draining that battery. More on the battery and the bad points, because what a battery. It's really weird. Granted, the battery is satisfactory. It can go through a day, but given the size of the battery, I think it's 4,000 milliamp hour battery, something like that. Which, wait, is it that one? Yeah, it's quite decent for a phone, and I believe it's the same one in my Digi C-Note 2, which can last me 2 or 3 days. This phone really can't. I think that's got something to do with the bloatware or something like that, but even with the screen off, it just drains battery, and you'll turn it on and you're like, oh shit, I've lost 70% over the course of a day, which to me is not the best thing in the world. But it still manages to go through a day, so whatever you want. On to the bad points now. The first point, the phone is quite heavy. If you're lying in bed watching a film, it can become quite uncomfortable to watch. So maybe if you're one of those people that just lies in your bed all day watching stuff on your phone, maybe look at a different phone that's a bit lighter. Mainly because I don't do that, so it was really weird even testing that for me. As soon as I'm awake, I'm out of bed. As soon as I go to bed, I'm asleep. I very rarely spend time on my phone in bed. So, yeah. More annoying features of this phone is I don't know of the operating system, but it did come with a fair amount of bloatware. And certain apps, it's the same app. On Google Android, you get Messenger for your text and stuff. For some reason, instead of that, it's messaging, and they do exactly the same thing. It's just really weird seeing different icons, and really weird just China versions of stuff, but they're all in English, and it's quite confusing, really. In the long run, well, actually in the short run, sorry. But in the long run, you get used to it, and it's a doddle, really, to get used to the operating system. I did briefly install Nova, the Nova launcher, just because that's what I had on my old phone. But I ended up uninstalling it because it was draining the battery. No matter what I did, that battery was going down with the Nova launcher. So I don't know if that was something to do with the phone or something to do with the launcher, but I don't know. Certain apps won't appear in full screen, and they'll have this really weird smaller aspect ratio. I'm hoping I've got a video of that. And you have to change that in the settings, which is really weird. Instead of it just shrinking underneath the notch like it would do on a YouTube video or something, it shrinks as if there's a second notch there, and below that one as well, leaving a much larger bezel. I don't know why anyone would want that. I think that's a problem with the operating system rather than the phone. It uses a version of Google's OS, I think. More on that bloatware problem. None of it can be uninstalled. I have tried uninstalling it, and I just can't. And when the phone is sitting at idle, with absolutely nothing open, about 70% of the RAM is being used up, which is probably where all of the battery life is going. Just in the fucking applications that are running in the background as part of the operating system. So it's not particularly optimized for the phone. I'll give it that. But I mean, for 160 quid, you're not really expecting much, are you? If you do use the phone with one hand, unless you have some pretty big hands, you are going to accidentally press the buttons on the bottom of the screen. But that's just become a thing of phones, isn't it, really? Every fucking phone, you press the bottom of the screen these days. It's an annoying feature of phones. Finally, these are problems that might have just been my specific device. But as far as I know, they are. And no one else has had these sort of problems. But when charging it, between 75 and 80%, for whatever reason, there is a very slight flicker. Very, very slight. The screen, when it's like just moving, when the screen is moving and it's having to update rather than just keeping the same thing flat down, it's almost like it's struggling to do two things at once. I did email GearBest about this, and they did say that this is something they've not heard of like happening before, and I had two options: replace it or live with it. I am not going to send this back and wait another 2 months just because something ever so slightly annoys me that I'm probably never going to notice. So I said, no, it's okay, I'll live with it. It's not particularly worth that for me. The second problem that I found, and more likely to be a problem with more of the phones, is the first time I pressed the on-off button, it stuck down. And so I pulled the phone out of my pocket after using it the first time, and it was stuck in a boot loop. And I had no clue why, but it was because the button was held down. It's not done this since that first time happened, but again, that could probably lead to battery drain, which we don't want, do we? Like, a lot of the bad points in this are about battery drain, but the third point was one that I reckon was more of a problem with the operating system or something like that. For whatever reason, I got it into my bed like 2 nights ago. Thought, I'll watch a YouTube video and then I'll go to sleep. I'm not particularly tired at the moment. Went to use the Wi-Fi and it just wasn't there. So I looked at the settings, pressed the Wi-Fi on. It then turned itself off. It can't pick up any Wi-Fi. I'm thinking, why? Why can't you pick up Wi-Fi? Restarted it. Still not able to do it. Reset all the Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, all those settings. Still can't do it. Reset the entire device. Removed absolutely everything. Go to boot it up, like as if it was a fresh install. Still can't find it. I'm thinking, what the hell? Okay, I'll sort this tomorrow morning. I can't be arsed now. It's like 1 a.m. I'll fucking sort it later. Woke up the next day. All of the Wi-Fi's had appeared. I can assure you it wasn't a problem with the Wi-Fi, mainly because I was using both the Ethernet on my computer, and I then, once I noticed this problem, checked my old phone, and my old phone could get the Wi-Fi. So I don't know why, for the love of God, for a night, the Wi-Fi decided not to work on the phone. I can't be bothered emailing someone about this, because they're just going to give me a response of, well, it's fixed now, isn't it? Yeah. So why are you emailing us? You know? My final thoughts on the phone. The overall experience for the price is amazing. 160 quid for a phone this good is an amazing price. Yes, it comes with a few minor issues, and then I don't know if it's device specific, those quite major issues of the home button, not the home button, the on-off button, and the what's it called? Wi-Fi problem. Yeah, it's a good daily phone to use. It's great for calls, great for texts, great for watching YouTube videos. For some reason as well, it gets data a lot better than my old phone, so that's definitely an upside. I can pretty much get like data anywhere, which is really weird because it uses the exact same SIM card. So I don't know why that's a thing, but it is. Yeah, I mean, I don't care about cameras, so that doesn't bother me in the slightest. And yeah, maybe like the only improvements I could find on the phone is optimize the OS a bit more, so that it actually doesn't drain as much of the RAM or the processing power or the battery. That's pretty much my major issue with this phone. The battery just disappears, and I don't know where it's gone, and it's just a really weird overall experience for a battery to just disappear like that. Ultimately, though, whether or not you decide to get the phone is completely dependent on what kind of person you are. If you're someone who is looking for a budget mobile gaming experience, or just wants a smartphone that is like a really good bang for your buck, I would suggest buying this. If you're someone who wants to constantly be able to use their phone, both day and night, you will end up spending a lot of your time charging this. You will be a little bit uncomfortable lying in bed, like trying to watch out. So maybe look for a lighter alternative phone with a better battery. You know, they do exist. As I said before, the link for this phone will be in the description. Thank you very much for watching, and ta-ra!